Great. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for logging in. This is Masterclass on achieving resilience and excellence through resiliency testing. Quickly, this is what I intend to cover today. The name is Daman Dev Sood. Your guide on this journey towards achieving resilience and excellence in an organization today. I'm going to give you a sneak peek into a crucial aspect of my 3-day course. Delivering Excellence was the previous one. This one, Delivering Excellence, is starting on 31st this month. Certified Resiliency Testing Specialist course starting 21st of August next month. But first, let me tell you a story. Peter's story. Once upon a time, there was a company called Everyone's Company, led by Peter, the CEO. You see him confused, talking live to his team, looking at reports and numbers. We have been running multiple programs like crisis management, risk management, operational resilience, business continuity. Every now and then, I keep receiving a test report. All look same to me. Clients and employees are showing low satisfaction with our resiliency program. But we don't have one, Peter says. I was about to ask to reduce our manpower and budgets on these programs. And in the last board meeting, some difficult questions were put to me, including on our overall maturity on resilience, including with our third parties. All were tense. Peter was looking for ideas. Susan, the head of the BCM department, said, while we don't have a resiliency program and we conduct various types of tests, I have recently come across a concept called resiliency testing. It is worth exploring it. Susan said so. This is the course, one of my flagship courses, 3 days certified resiliency testing specialist course, currently scheduled online. Fast forward to today, I'll be teaching you the very concept that transformed Everyone's Company through resiliency testing. So what is resiliency? You could find many different definitions. One of the simplest ones I picked up. I like it. I believe in this. Ability of an individual, system, or organization to bounce back from a stress. This stress may be defined as a disturbance, disaster, or a crisis. And I also say this today now. In the past, we used to say people make organizations. Today, I say resilient people make resilient organizations. So our story or our journey perhaps has to start from people. So resilient people make resilient organizations, which make resilient communities, and ultimately the resilient planet that we all look forward to. And I have developed this house of resiliency. Many of us, most of us, perhaps all of us in the past, including myself, thinking of resiliency, and easily BCM would come to mind. Business continuity, we are talking about now. We could also think of crisis, risk, information, and cybersecurity, perhaps. But resilience or resiliency is much more than these 3, 4. I have put 11 elements, the bricks, the walls, and the roof that make the house of resilience.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, please.
Sorry, sir. Sorry for the disturbance. Sir, actually, there are some people in the waiting room.
All right,
Who
sorry,
need to accept.
my
Yeah.
apologies. Thanks for interruption.
No problem, sir. Yeah.
This
Sorry
interruption,
for the break. Yeah. Thank you.
this interruption is good. So the topic, what is resiliency testing then? It's a type of performance testing that focuses on checking level of resiliency. So resiliency is our ability to bounce back, and testing is to check the level of resiliency that we have, or to seek the assurance on our resiliency preparations. And it provides us assurance accordingly when we conduct a resiliency test. So many companies are not resilient. Now, while making this statement, I don't mean the whole company. At least one portion, it may be very small portion, which is the portion that I have interacted with. Many names here, most are from India, but there are named globally also, one of those being IEEE, which actually is a highly respected company according to me. It's not a corporate, it's a body of professionals. I'm a senior member of IEEE myself. But where there is something wrong, there is a possibility of some improvement. That's what I mean to say. I don't mean to say India Post is completely not non-resilient company, or Toyota or Gillette is non-resilient company. But at least that small portion that I interacted with. And when I say they are not resilient, what I mean to say is that most likely they have not tested their resilience, or they have not tested enough. And that portion also is very important, testing it enough. And that's why this discussion today, this masterclass. When it comes to resiliency testing, I have listed, based on my experience, having gone across companies, countries, and industry sectors in different roles, including as an auditor also. There are some common challenges. I have listed those here. Interested parties are not known or are not well established, are stakeholders. Risk appetite, risk management, risk register, there are some challenges. Well, risk management is such an old established department. Resiliency, business continuity, etc., may be relatively new, but there are still challenges in understanding of these. Then there are multiple challenges with processes. Either the process doesn't exist, or is it not known, or is not used, or is too old. Then exercises are solo exercises, are simple exercises. People keep repeating the same or similar type of exercises because there is risk in increasing the complexity. But that doesn't mean that we stay at the same place. Yes,
sir,
please.
my apologies, sir, to disturb you. Sir, could you please add someone in the waiting room, please? We are really sorry, sir.
I see. Thank you. I don't see anyone waiting there.
It's no one, sir? Okay. I'll just check. Okay, thank you, sir.
I don't mind. It's good that if you interrupt for that, because I'm not able to monitor that myself immediately. Thanks. A lot of improvement is required in our communication during testing specifically, I'm saying. Well, communication is important throughout our life. Staff doesn't take evacuation seriously. Top management doesn't evacuate during evacuations. Evacuation area, safe assembly area, again, they have multiple challenges. In my book, I have written a lot about this. It's not enough, is not known, is not lit, etc. Can you go on mute, please? Solo working of departments. This integration is very important. And there are multiple plans in the name of, as Peter was saying, holding his head. Risk management, crisis management, business continuity management, information security, cyber security, maybe many more. There are so many plans, so many tests with different views, objectives, etc., and expectations. And there are smart people at top. Now, this is not bad. Having smart people at top is not bad. But sometimes what happens is that we are not so good in doing Our achievements are not so good, but because they are smart people, they play it very well. And they come out of, they means the company comes out of the situation, whether it is internal review or external review. So having smart people is good, but that becomes a challenge also, and including with respect to the resiliency testing and continual improvement in resiliency testing also. As I said, companies keep doing same type, similar type, simpler exercises again and again, which is not good. So far, we have discussed what? Question maybe then, Daman, why should we conduct resiliency testing? What is the importance? And this slide is helping us to understand. It ensures reliability of plans and arrangements, as simple as that. Helps to identify vulnerabilities, gaps, or mistakes. They are different words to be used. Once we know that, then we can fix those. Helps in budgeting. When I know there is a gap, I need to fix it, then I can ask for budget either this session or at least the next session. Builds confidence of all relevant interested parties, internal employees, external customers, board, regulators, the citizens, general public. Helps in getting better insurances. If you have good resiliency places in place, also you are good in resiliency testing, your insurers will be happy and they'll be able to give you better insurance. Ensures compliance with, there may be various requirements, if not in all countries, if not in all industry sectors, but there are few countries, few industry sectors, and it is increasing where it is a mandate. For example, operational resilience program, within which the testing is a very important portion. This also helps in raising awareness and building resiliency capabilities. When you are conducting tests, keep talking, so communication, and then people will come to know, which means awareness will go up. Reduces last-minute shocks, provides competitive edge. If your competitors are not doing so well, then you gain edge, which may result into your top line and bottom lines improving. Helps in improving top and bottom lines, as I said, and enhances resiliency, which is the overall objective of the resiliency program. Another way to show the importance of a resiliency testing. When you have resiliency plans, there are some features. What type of resiliency plan should we have? Should you have? Should be simple, action-oriented, current, complete, correct, and effective. So if I have listed 6 parameters here, 4 of those get justified, satisfied, assured through the testing. That's why we should be conducting resiliency testing, so that our plans and arrangements are current, complete, correct, and effective. This is what we will come to know. And when we say testing, resiliency testing, then this full house of resiliency needs to be tested. So if you look at quickly, incident management, emergency management, employee health and safety, IT disaster recovery, risk, business continuity, crisis communication, physical security, information security, and cyber security. So what difference what we may notice is that some of these, I said that earlier also, business, ITDR, crisis, risk, these easily come to mind as if these are making resiliency. But look at employee health and safety also coming into the picture. Look at physical security also coming into the picture. There is no information or cyber security without the physical security. That's the importance of physical security. When all these forces get together, then we become resilient. And that's what the resiliency program is all about. So I've introduced, when we say, yes, please. Anyone waiting? Yes. Thank you very much. That the full house of resiliency needs to be tested, then I have created this 3D approach of mine, which is copyrighted to me. Design, develop, and deliver. Design a resiliency test, develop a resiliency test, and deliver a resiliency test. Sometimes it may not be one person who will be able to do all this. And it's not one person for sure. When we conduct a test, there will be many actors. Actors means not like in a drama or a movie. Actors means participants, the interested parties, the audience. There will be many. Internal, and you can design your test to include external parties also. Complexity keeps increasing, needs to be increased over a time because we want to mature also. That was Peter's problem. The CEO wanted to see the maturity of the program going up. The question was put to him by the board directly. So using this 3D approach, then I wanted to introduce, as I had committed, a world-class case study as the Big Fours and MBBs use in resolving multi-billion-dollar problems in the world, or even while recruiting people for themselves. So some people perhaps have registered now, but about 10 minutes ago, I had sent a mail to all of you. I request you check the mail, please. Anyone who can open, that'll be great, because you will be able to see this on your screen a little large. Otherwise, I'm going to open on this screen as well. This is a post office resiliency and testing case study. So I'm waiting for a few seconds for you all to open. Even if you have not received in advance, no worries. At the end of the session, my commitment is this case study will be with you. Can someone confirm, please? Can you see the document on my screen? Yes.
Yes.
Great. Thank you very much. So I will increase the size also. And I'm assuming that others have been able to open on their machines so that it's easy for them to see. Go slow. Starting from here, introduction, I'll increase the size a little more. I hope it's readable now. This case study delves into the frustrating experience faced by a customer while attempting to resolve issues with her post office savings account in India. The story highlights the importance of customer care, resilience, and effective processes in organizations, emphasizing the need for continuous improvement or continual improvement, even in the era of technological advancements and automation. Our dependencies on technology have increased. A lot of automation has been done in almost all companies across globe, but with that, we get few more challenges or risks. One of those being as simple as that technology could be down. Looking at the background to understand the case first before we go into discussions and questions. The customer, Avani, helping her elderly father-in-law, encountered multiple challenges while trying to address issues with the post office savings account. Initially, the ATM card was not working, and subsequent attempts to withdraw money using checks failed as well. So we see there is resilience built into the person or business continuity, even if not resilience, that if ATM card doesn't work, use the check, please. You can walk into the branch. But even that didn't work for Avani. As an alternative, Avani transferred funds to her father-in-law's other bank account, which was functional. Determined to resolve the post office account issues, she embarked on a 2-month journey, facing various obstacles and frustrations along the way. So far, so good. Either listening to me, watching on the screen, or reading on your machines. Let's go into scenario 1. Case is clear. It's a post office. Someone, Avani, attempting to help her father-in-law who was facing challenges with the account. ATM card didn't work, the checks didn't work. Scenario 1 is about escalation. One major obstacle Avni encountered was the lack of clear escalation points within the post office system. Despite her efforts, she could not find the necessary information to escalate the matter. This lack of transparency and accessibility to escalation points left Avani feeling helpless and hindered the timely resolution of her concerns on behalf of her father-in-law. The question is, analyze the situation so far. And this is the question for you all. I'll stop sharing my screen so that we come face to face. Switch on cameras, please, as many as we can, and start talking. Anyone can put any points. This is how the cases are discussed. Great. Thanks, Rakesh. Prathamesh. Yes, please.
So here we have seen the situation where the post office, the customers are feeling quite a lot of challenges, especially in this case, Avani. So she's not able to escalate this issue to the post office to say what's going wrong. I think in that case, even the post office is unable to get any sort of feedback for themselves to improve. On the other hand, what they ultimately would happen, it's actually loss for the business because, you know, tomorrow she would actually transfer this account to a different bank account, a different post office. So ultimately, it's a loss for the post office because they are not able to see where are the gaps because they don't have a proper escalation metrics or a solution for that. But for Avani, it might be a temporary challenge, but nevertheless, at some point of time, she will find a way when she will move to a better bank or a better post office where her issues will be resolved.
Great, great. Thank you very much. Anyone else? Any other views? Those may be different from Rakesh's views also. Question here or learning for all of us here would be to go back and check in our own organizations. Have we defined the escalation points clearly? The challenge is many times we define the escalation points, but those are not published or not communicated. So do our next check for ourselves is, do our customers know the escalation points for them? As a good practice, when we write the contracts or agreements, we should have defined escalation points from both sides there. So that's a good practice. And that could be, yes, Ashish, you want to contribute? Go ahead, please. So while I said cameras on, but if you're camera shy, you can keep the camera off and can still contribute in the discussions. Suhas, thanks for coming up. Any views here? Or do we move on to the next question or next scenario? In the same case, but next scenario. Let's move on. I hope you can see it once again. Scenario 2 says, unraveling the debit freeze. So this is new situation. First situation was escalation related. Now it seems there is something called debit freeze. After persistent efforts, a post office staff member discovered. So you have to stay within the case. The way it has been written, it means what? After persistent efforts, a post office staff member discovered that the customer's account had been subjected to a debit freeze. So ATM card not working, check not working, no challenge. Now the reason is known. Due to the presence of a substantial balance, it was revealed that as part of a precautionary measure against fraudulent transactions, accounts with high balances were frozen at the end of each financial year. I have never heard while developing this case, I'm writing this. I have never heard of this process in any other bank ever. The post office, however, failed to inform customers about this process. At least for Avani's father-in-law, we know that he was not informed, leading to confusion, dissatisfaction, and frustration. So once again, scenario understood. Let's go into debate discussions once again. What are your impressions now? Anyone can.
Yeah, it seems to be the post office had a genuine reason why the account was not working.
Very
But
clear. Hold on. I'll
unfortunately,
interrupt here. But again,
yeah.
everyone, as Rakesh said, it appears now that the post office had a genuine reason. I hope we all agree to this. Looking at the case, right? There is a reason. All right, go ahead.
Yes.
Yes. Go ahead.
Yeah. But however, they fail to inform the customers about it. So even now, whenever there is any system upgrade or anything that's happening in our bank, where we have the account, they usually send us an advance information stating that you won't be able to operate during this particular period and this particular time. So, but that's something that this post office has failed to do, because of which the customer frustration has increased. So I think there is a lapse here in terms of the communication part,
Right.
which they should have fixed prior.
Right. Okay. Anyone else?
In fact,
Yes, sir.
Suhas here. In fact, I had the opposite experience.
All right.
My credit was frozen because what do you call it, was no longer a salary account. So my credit was frozen, but I had transferred my bank account to a different company also. I mean, when they were actually debiting my or crediting my salary, which did not happen. It was bouncing back. So I lost a couple of days without my pay. Okay.
Alright.
So in fact, what happened is that once I raised a complaint with my HR, okay, this has happened with the new organization. So they in fact cut ties with the bank totally. Okay, so totally they cut. So in fact, the next from me, whomsoever has joined the organization, right, their salaries were given to a different bank. I mean, salary account. So one is they had a loss of business.
Right.
Okay, so and they had a reputational loss as well, because one, I did not know, and I had a at least some level of discomfort, because even though I could withdraw money, I didn't have anything to withdraw from. So after some time, it was getting depleted. So yes, the communication wasn't there. And again, sometimes if there is a change, at least that change management has to be spot on, which here the change management wasn't there.
Thank you. Thank you very
So I
much.
think,
So now I'm adding a little twist to this, which is not even in the case study. So let's talk about this, or tell me, please. The question for you all is, whose challenge is bigger or more serious? Suhas's challenge or Avani's challenge? One is not able to withdraw, one is not able to get in. Suhas will
Both.
speak later. Yes.
No,
I think Suhas is in a bigger trouble because he has to basically get something to withdraw, right? So if especially when you're changing jobs, even your full and final settlement from a previous job is not done.
Great.
So you are already 1 month short on your salary, then you're not able to withdraw whatever is coming, because
And this is serious
whatever
challenge,
was
right?
coming is also bounced.
When
So I think
you
Suhas is in a bigger trouble than
you are
the
switching
lady.
companies, you have not
Yeah.
got the last month's salary, and now you have not got this month's salary also. This is double trouble, it seems, right?
Yeah.
Now, who would like to play the role of Avani's father-in-law? We need to play roles also. Who would like to be playing Avani's father-in-law? Because it seems we all, so jokes apart, but as Paritosh said, it seems that Suhas's challenge is a bigger challenge. Let's look into the other party also then. Let me Yes.
Yeah, Daman, actually, Avani's father-in-law, as you rightly, though she is supporting her in the scenario 1 and scenario 2, both if I am linking, Avani is not able to withdraw the money in the scenario 1.
Right.
Okay, but yeah, in one statement you are told that she would be able to transfer the money to other account and get the money.
From my account to your account, I have done that.
Okay.
So you have some money.
Fine. It is not from her father-in-law's account only.
No.
Yeah, correct. So here, as a case, if her father-in-law, if he is not having that communication of that the account is frozen or anything, that communication says that whether he might not have gone to the bank also to get the exact reason, or the fault may be on either side.
Hello.
One, he might not have
Yes, sir.
personally gone, and second is
Hanji.
the post office was don't have that
Ji,
communication to their clients also.
Right.
Hanji.
So
Possible.
here
Ji,
the
ma'am.
communication and escalation both
Right.
are
Vice
lacking in this case. That's
Agree.
what I feel.
I agree. Now what happens is that even if I say
मैम
I'm a
इस
good
रोल में
company,
मैं 2021 से हूँ. Before that I was a contractor with the same organization.
I think somebody can go on mute.
yeah, thank you. So even if I say I'm a good company and I would have done, and I have done, I'm saying I'm the bank, I'm the post office bank, and I have done, we did. It's possible that you missed it. It's so simple. Avani's father-in-law missed to see that communication. It's possible. All that I know is I sent. Perhaps it was not reached. It was not received. It didn't reach. Possible. Even if it was, it's an SMS most likely, and the person didn't understand. We also need to look at the human psychology. In BCM, in resilience, we need to look at human psychology also. The moment we are saying father-in-law, it's an old aged person. And these people have a lot of pride in their own money. Avani, you can give me, but I don't want your money. I want my money. Whatever you say, the bank, the post office, but I'm saying I'm father-in-law and I'm saying it's my money, I need it. You sent a communication, you're saying I missed it. But what is this process? That's what the point here is. I said, bankers also sitting here, they can tell me, and all of us are banking users, we all can. Do you know? Can you think of any such process where high balance accounts are put to freeze at the end of every financial year? There will be millions of such accounts then.
No.
Well, intention is good to stop the fraudulent transactions. But then why at the end of the financial year?
Why not
My
in between?
account is not important to you throughout 364 days, but on 365th day, it is so important, you put freeze on this. So this process itself appears to be incorrect to me. Later on, what I'm going to link, because the topic is resiliency testing, as I said, all those 10 companies that I showed, 9 companies I showed, I'm not saying whole company is not resilient. At least even if it's just one process, this is my money withdrawal account operation process. Maybe that's not resilient because it has not been tested or it has not been tested well. This is an IT system. At the most, the bank, the post office would have done internal testing. Their users testing would have been done. They are looking at the screens. But ultimately, it's me, the customer. Ultimate customer is me. The teller, bank teller, is not the ultimate user of this system or of this process. And I believe that's why the new concept, which is relatively new, operational resilience, at least in the financial sector, in some countries, if not in all countries, it's saying bring in the external focus also. The one look from the eyes of the customer. And that's little difference. Well, that's not the topic for today. Little difference between BCM and operational resilience. The BCM had our internal focus. Operational resilience is asking us to get the external focus. Thank you very much. Keep participating, please. Let's go back into the case. Next scenario. I hope you can see it. Scenario 3. which is about competition and backup resources. Another critical issue emerged when Avani requested the staff member who served as a backup to the postmaster who could unfreeze. So there is a freeze. All right, you had some reason. Please unfreeze it now. I need to withdraw money. Who had the authority to unfreeze such accounts and was on planned leave? Postmaster authority to unfreeze, but he was on leave. But there was a backup resource. He or she was requested to unfreeze. The backup staff member claimed to lack the necessary access to perform this task. Play the role of Avani and express your feelings. Males can do that, but females also can do that. We have females also in the session. Anyone can play the role of Avani. What has happened in the scenario? The account was frozen. Okay, unfreeze it now. The person who has the authority to unfreeze is not in office. Call the backup, please. Request the backup, please. I am the backup, but I do not have the access to do this. Now, what is happening to you? Tell me, you are the customers.
Helplessness, frustration.
Anyone else?
Like,
Yes. What would you like to do? Break your head or my head? Is it natural?
back. Yes.
Banging? Yeah. Yeah. We are human beings. As a customer, I would say I have the right to be upset. I hope you all agree with me. Okay. Let's look at a few other scenarios. There are only two more in this case study, I guess. Scenario 4 says customer centricity and timely communication. So communication portion we have already discussed. So I'm skipping scenario 4. Let's go to scenario 5. What has happened is ultimately unfreeze happened not on that day with some gap. That's what scenario 4 is. I'm going a bit fast on that portion. Unfreeze done next day, not the same day, not on the spot. Checkbook issued, working, etc., etc. So maybe she has been, or her father-in-law has been able to withdraw the money. Scenario 5 says Avani may not be satisfied yet, but her father-in-law's immediate concern has been taken care of. So while closing this case study, the question to you, question 5, write your concluding remarks, lessons learned, and suggested improvements. Once again, everyone can participate, especially those who have not participated so far, because we are coming to close of the masterclass. So you may not get another chance to speak. And in these discussions, we shouldn't worry about being right or wrong. No one is perfect in this world. We are learning. That's why we are sitting together. Okay, so new people, not, yes, Bhaskar, go ahead, please. Concluding
Yeah,
remarks.
Actually,
yes.
Avani's father-in-law's concern has been addressed.
Okay.
Probably, I think as a customer, he might have satisfied with the services. But on the second part, Avani may not be a direct customer. She may be an indirect customer. She also should be satisfied, because that only will enhance the business of any sector.
And she may have
we take
influence on her father-in-law.
exactly. That is the reason. So she also, her concern also to be addressed. That is what I feel.
By the way, in between, father-in-law, at one point in time, it's written in the mentioned in the case study. He said, just give me my money, full stop. I don't want to have any business with this place, in this place, with this organization anymore.
Yeah.
It could happen in frustration, right? All right. Anyone else?
Correct.
Concluding remarks and any lessons learned improvements. Specifically, we are looking at lessons learned and improvements for the post office.
One point I'd like to mention here is there has been identified some risk. There is a gap in the entire process, right? Now, to ensure that this kind of situation doesn't happen again in the future, I think the post office needs to have a strict control measures to ensure that they are following, they have necessary controls, and they have a control owner and somebody who is monitoring this on a regular frequency. It could just be a tick box, but it's also very important so that in this case, Avni's father-in-law was a direct impact, but nevertheless, the word of mouth, the negative publicity about
Communication.
this would actually really impact the post office for sure. I think that's something the post office can learn and implement for the future.
Very good. Anyone else? Any other point? Additional points?
I
Yes.
think, in the terms of the backup individual was given the responsibility without the ability to do that. That was very, ridiculous. Yes, sir. Yeah.
And that's why I'll say now replace post office with our organizations. What are the lessons for us? If we keep talking about post office, that's not enough. Now we need to take lessons learned, improvements for our organizations also. So as I said earlier, do we have escalation points defined and communicated? That's where the story started from. Then we come to, and this is a big challenge in the business continuity arrangements plans, I believe. We have identified, assume Suhas is the primary resource. Daman is identified as his backup secondary resource, but perhaps we have forgotten to give Daman the right accesses. Daman knows how to do Suhas's job, but at the back end, there is some system perhaps we have forgotten. And that's part of the testing portion, that we missed to test this portion. This is what learning, according to me, for all of us would be. Then communication, we have said, perhaps there's nothing called over communication. Very important point in this case is to look at, as I said, user appears to be, first is, I am the tellers, the bank employee. Most likely I would have been involved in the testing, but there's a high likelihood that the bank needs to involve you all, the ultimate users, the customers. The process is working, but is it working according to you all? What is your expectation? The challenge is that there are 1 million users. How many can the bank involve in the testing? All right, we always say a sample set is good, even if we involve 10, but then look at the country, specifically if you're talking of India, but it can happen in other countries also, any other country. We need to understand the people, the type of people we have. The education level is not same. Technical knowledge, awareness level is not same. Even access to the systems or the technology is not same. So we need to pick up one of each type, something like that. That's what I'm attempting to say. The scope of testing. And that's why I say designing, developing, and delivering an effective resiliency testing or effective resiliency test is an art which needs to be learned and mastered. I'm not saying perfected, because no one is perfect, but we can always keep improving, and we can say that we have mastered this art. It's an art. Yeah. Thank you very much. Case study, this one was actually 4 pages only. This is how I have many case studies, exactly similar level type. In the full length course, I provide my answers also, and that answer is actually 10 pages for this case study. Can you believe this? Case study is 4 pages only, but the possible answers from me are about 10 pages. Going back to slides, let's see what's there. Can you see the slide again, please? Someone confirm, please.
Yes.
Great. Thank you very much. And I say, designing, developing, and delivering an effective resiliency test is an art. Within that, making use of another art, which is called storytelling in writing, is important. Storytelling, story writing plays a very important role, specifically in designing and developing a text. So key components quickly. In the course, I talk a lot. We practice also. One needs to be creative. You need to have those skills and experience. Narrative characters and language, what language you write. Then engaging visuals can be used, should be used. And a reality. Make a mix of these, and then you are able to create a good story. And then I'm saying, how about this one? Does it look familiar? Realistic? Can it happen? Sorry. Can it happen? Husband, wife, both are working in your organization. Take it to be your organization. They are aware of rules, regulation, and policies, including NDA, password policies, etc. During hybrid working, you have got NDAs refreshed for all employees, extra awareness done on frauds, cybersecurity, hardware, software hardening, etc. The husband gets lured by someone to exchange some official data with someone in lieu of cash. He snoops into his wife's laptop account to do this. The case comes to light. Actually, wife brought to your notice. So both husband and wife are working in your organization. I hope you recollect the case. So you need to discuss this. In the course, we have time and we go deep, but quickly we can have 1-2 minutes views on this. It's a simple one. This can be made about 2-page story also. It could be one scenario for one full test only. We can do that. You can do that. I can do that. Here are just pointers. Attempting to start building a story. This is not a story yet. We'll have to use all those skills of story writing to make it a full story, full length story. What actions will you take with respect to husband and any actions for the wife? Again, some discussions quickly, please. We are coming to close. Anyone?
So both would take some or the other action. Number one, with respect to husband, is with respect to our policies, I believe he should be terminated. Second, in case that we need to find with our legal if it could be taken to the law enforcement agencies. In terms of wife, definitely if the husband was able to access the computer of hers, that means they were sharing credentials. So she is also liable for disciplinary actions as per the policies that we have. Second aspect is because she brought it, probably there would be some consideration and we would go slightly lenient on her.
There should be some reward also.
I don't think it's a
She's an
reward.
honest.
It's more.
She's an honest employee.
She came out and brought it, so we will be lenient on the disciplinary action. It's not going to be a reward, because if she shared a password, that itself is a big violation. So she should not be sharing. Your access is yours alone.
Okay.
Even if it's your husband, you cannot share you can share whole of your life with your husband except your password.
Right. Anyone else quickly? And I have some views of my own way. So I can, yes, anyone? I can make a little twist here. I can say, Partosh, that she didn't share, not necessarily. This is the challenge of working from home. And again, we had to work during COVID-19 pandemic. The whole world had to work it. We didn't have any tests at that time. Needs to be tested now when we are saying that it's going to be long term. She didn't share, not necessarily, but both of them are human beings. So assume I'm also delivering this session from home today, even if I have shut the door, but my wife is around. And it has happened many times in the last 3 years when we have been working from home, that in the evening she would start discussing with you. Today you were talking about this. Oh my God. So it's unknowingly, unintentional snooping. She's human being. That's one. Second is, I didn't pass on my credentials to her to log into my laptop. But assume I moved out for few seconds, minutes at that time. So this is what might have happened in this case. The wife moved out and she forgot to lock the screen. It is so natural. Happens in offices also, especially when I thought I was going only for a few seconds, but it became few minutes. At that time, perhaps husband might have snooped him. And the last one, once again, Every time we need to keep, when we're talking of resiliency and testing, this is why this case is very important. It appears to be simple, small, but it's very important. Going deep, when we start discussing who should be penalized, and how much, shall we go a little lenient with the wife? What happens? That's the next step. Attempt to think, is it leading to a divorce? Is it leading to a divorce? Husband
think
loses
so.
job. Paritosh said we
Goes
will
to
remove
jail.
him, full stop. Most maybe to jail also, but at least Paritosh said we will remove, according to our policies, we will remove him. And he'll say, because of you, I've lost my job, so I'm happy to lose you also. Right? We part ways. Possible. Even if divorce doesn't happen immediately, but a lot of tension between these two people, which wife also would realize perhaps, and that's why she may not bring it out. So she would think of this before notifying the company. She knows it, I know it, but I don't want to, because otherwise I'm bound to lose my husband, or at least disturbance in our relationship. We need to think of this case. We need to resolve this case. It may not be you and me who will be able to do this. We may have legal counsels, Paritosh said that, but we may need other counselors also.
Also,
Yes, please. Tell me. Someone was adding. Let's go back. Have a quick look at the slides once again. So this was based on the storytelling. Talk of the town today is everyone company's transformational journey on resiliency testing. What's happening? The CEO is in the town hall, in a round table, CEO's round table, and he's saying, we understand resiliency is much more than just BCM, risk, crisis, ITDR, information, cybersecurity, etc. Our successful management of COVID-19 pandemic led us to seek better assurance on our resilience maturity. Several reasons, such as global recession, the great resignation sparked by pandemic, regulatory mandates, increasing customer expectations, renewed board expectations. I hope you remember the board had put difficult questions to Peter, and emerging threats motivated us to raise the bar of our resiliency testing program. What is the team saying? His team. Tailored schedule spanning 6 half days addresses management's concerns about being away for 3 full days. My team can minimize their time away from work while benefiting from comprehensive training. Sarah's success stories gain edge over competitors. Yasmin's experience says avoid penalties due to non-compliance. Lisa's perspective is control impact of disasters. Raj's testimonial is reduce staff and customer churn rates. Huda's satisfaction is increase staff and customer satisfaction rates. Robert's endorsement comes as strengthened brand image. Andrew's ROI, return on investment, says enjoy significant returns. And Olivia's win more business with higher scores in bid evaluation. So everyone is gaining from that. Neha's perspective is different. She says enhance top and bottom lines. And Peter, the CEO, is happy today. 24 CP credits through CPD certified course, mark of quality, content, and delivery. Brandon says so. Intricate factors revealed for designing, developing, and delivering resiliency tests are current understanding challenge. Naveen said so. Equipped with new competencies, we envision confidently tackling next resiliency challenges. Enhancing maturity of our resiliency testing excites us immensely. Ruby's perspective. Crucial to understand importance of stakeholders, the actors in resiliency tests, as I said, their roles and expectations. This will enable us to effectively engage and manage them. Chris said so. Bite-sized exercises and multiple case studies make course highly engaging provide valuable insights to solidify our understanding of resiliency testing, Carmine said so. Delighted to receive personally signed copy of my experience with organizational resilience part 1 written by Daman. Susan said so, the BCM head. Hope you recollect that. 25 sample documents promise valuable resources forever. Khalid would say that. Documents are for you to keep forever. Gain further insights into enrich experience designed to incorporate AI interventions. Edward liked AI interventions built in the course. 30 minutes one-on-one coaching post-course with Daman in his resilience OPD excited me the most, Sushma said. And world-class case studies that I had heard of about Big Force and MBB producing were in our hands, used and to keep to cherish forever. Ruby said so. And I'm raising the bar for everyone's company. Now look into this. The next resiliency test for them, I could design in this way. Gain the skills with me to test your skills to test unauthorized transactions, increased call volumes, database corruption, customer database hacks, a scenario that is mix of earthquake, mass resignations, sudden departure of major clients at the same time, media negativity, shareholders, investors, regulator, government, citizens asking questions, and many more. Any impressions quickly here when I'm saying I'm raising the bar? Is it possible? Can it be done? Should it be done? Over a period, yes, we must. So good practice is to raise your bar slowly. That's why it's called continual improvement. But this is not enough. I want to do more for everyone's company. Make it more complex. Add fuel to this fire. Primary and secondary IT failing simultaneously. Can this happen? Has it happened? When we are talking of operational resilience specifically these days, there is a concept called rare but plausible scenarios. Rare it may be, but if it's plausible, then please test it. New pandemic starting in major cities where you are operating, critical supplier failure, portion of the building falling during work hours, employees hurt and dead, citizens going on rampage against your company, burning your headquarters, stone pelting on other buildings, and employees also getting hurt. Let's do it. Someday we have to. Not on day one. But if we were doing simple ones, let's start mixing 1, 2, or 3 of these and start raising our resilience. While I close this session, my promise, a cheat sheet which I have developed. Again, I'll quickly show this at the end of the session. This will be video. For resiliency testing, I have developed this cheat sheet. Helps me a lot. You see about 50 questions and simple checklists, yes to answer in your hand, 3 or 4 sheets in your hand, 50 questions. Have you done this? Have you done this? What about this? Etc. Very helpful according to me. This is for you to take home. I'm sorry. Can you see my slides again?
Yes.
Great. And this is the course, 3 days certified resiliency testing specialist course. If you look at length and breadth, there's a lot to be done in 3 days. Day 1, 33% of the course is the resiliency concepts, that house of resiliency that I have defined. And day 2, 66% of the course is deep dive into resiliency testing, starting from designing to developing to executing or delivering, all, including the role of storytelling and writing in resiliency testing, as you see the last. So that's the length and width of the course. But don't take my words for it. This is what another CEO said. This is a real CEO who has attended the course. Anand Sampath, MD and CEO of Udbata Technologies. Having personally attended it myself, can assure it is unique, practical, and no-nonsense workshop filled with Daman's practical experience of decades in this field, with potential to offer up to 24 CPE credits to the delegates. And this is what other participants have said. I'm not reading these. In the recording, you'll be able to pause and go through these, what is important to see is this also 100% NPS on how likely you are to recommend this course to someone else. They are saying 100%, which is much more than amazing. Then about the trainer, again, just staying here for a few seconds in the recording, you can pause and go through this. And 100% NPS, net promoter score. Once again, how likely you are to recommend this trainer to someone else is great. Really happy for that. So are you ready to raise bar for yourselves? Your resiliency program, resiliency testing program. The course starts on 21st of August. Register your interest now with me to gain early discounts. There is no need to pay money now. Just register your interest. That is where I would like to stop. If there are any questions, well, I have gone a minute over already. My apologies, but I'm here. If you have any questions, you can ask now, or my coordinates in front of you. Feel free to write to me anytime. Anything about resiliency testing, or whatever I know, which is resilience, the world of resilience. I'll stop sharing my screen here. And thank you very much. First of all of you, can you switch on the cameras, please? I would like to take a picture also. And I hope there is no objection in my sharing that on the social media. Great. More cameras coming up. I like. Thank you very much. Almost 100%. Great. Give me your best smiles, please. I'm waiting for a few more seconds. Best smiles. Thank you very much. Any questions for me, please, now? How was the masterclass? Okay, let me ask this question then. Good, bad, ugly. I won't mind. Yes, please, Rakesh.
It was informative, certainly, and I would
Thank
say it is good. Thank you very much, Daman.
Thank you very much.
Good
Anyone-
perspective, sir. Yeah.
Good perspective, Patmesh. Thank you
Yeah.
very much.
It was very good, sir. Informative. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. But I just changed that question to ask about the masterclass. More interested in having your questions. If you have any questions, please let me know.
It was a master's class, sir. So it was definitely a master class. So
Thank you very much, Suhas.
Thank you, Mr. Daman. It has given a very good sight on the resilience and all. And the case study, whatever you have given, certainly it was a very good brainstorming. Though you have taken a post office as an example, as you rightly said, this we have to put it to test in our organizations
Yes.
where we work.
Exactly.
That really gives a good insight and a
In
improvement
India-
in our process of activities.
Yes. In India, post office may appear to be a little weaker organization already to all of us. But I'm not focusing on that portion. I'm focusing on
Correct.
what are the learning improvement for us also. Have
Perfect.
we done
Perfect.
this in our organization?
That's right. That's
2
true.
points
That's
very
true.
important. 3, I would say. Communication, that backup resources and their accesses. And who
And
is the real customer who should be involved in the testing? Yes.
perfect. That's true. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anyone else? Few more seconds. Otherwise, with your permission, I'll close the session with my promise, commitment. Any questions later on also, please feel free to write to me. By any means, WhatsApp calls best work for me if you want to speak, otherwise mails. And this recording, as well as this case study, which is already with most of you, I believe, but I'll send again the cheat sheet and a little more reading material, more than I committed, will be with you towards the end of the day.
Thank
Let's
you.
stay together. There's a lot to learn from each other.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of the
Thank
day.
you,
Have a
sir.
nice day.
Thanks.
Have a nice day.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much. I'll close the session after all guests have left. Thank you. Bye-bye.